Honestly, listening to this beautiful song done 32 years ago, I'm moved to tears. These are classics. These are evergreen songs. Some a beautiful song done way back in the year 1992 by the late elegant stallion Onyeka Owen. I find it so difficult to add late to her name. Talking about the woman, Onyeka Owen, she was an enigma. She was a a lot of people actually thought she was just a musician, but she was an actress. Let me call her a woman of many parts. Comrade AYODEJI, a beautiful morning to
A
you.
beautiful morning to you, my dear comrade.
I woke up around 2 a.m. This morning and looking into the social media and saw the breaking news of the demise of Onyeka Onwenu. Talking about this woman, who was Onyeka Onwenu?
Yes,
In a nutshell.
Ayoko the first impression I had of Ayoko Wenu, and of course, you had to dig it up. I was she served in the NTA.
Definitely, that was her first cut. She was a broadcaster. She started with the NTA.
She served before
A
coming
reporter
to Nigeria,
and a newscaster too.
She studied in the United States and worked in the United Nations headquarters in New York. And then I don't know how she was persuaded. She came home to do a national service and did a documentary. That was what brought her into limelight.
Yeah.
Squandering of
Riches.
and it's
in 1984.
Yeah, that was... I think that actually put her on the collision course with the authorities, and then she surfaced.
And she was an activist too.
Oh, she was an activist.
She was an activist.
She was an activist.
An actress.
Worked in Ikeja of Okwebi, and she lived down that road where our office was at Okwebi. So I actually saw her, and that was in the 90s. Early and mid-90s. So I saw her regularly, virtually every day, driving back and forth. And of course, she was still active. She remained active anyway, until the point of death. And you see, a passage, dropping dead, practically just dropping dead after a show, that tells us something about us in terms of our health. If you tell a medical doctor, is likely to tell you off the cuff what could have caused such, dropping dead after a show. I'm not going to, but that tells me.
And now looking at the event that led to her demise, she was at a particular birthday party yesterday, and it was
She was on the bandstand.
She was on the bandstand. It was reported that she, immediately after she finished performing, she dropped, she slumped, and she was rushed to the hospital. And that was a Reddington Hospital in Lekki.
Yeah.
And by the time they got to the hospital, she was pronounced dead.
Yeah, that's a massive one. Even if it were to be a stroke, you understand, within that period, there are things you can do within a short period of time. You have to do certain things. But if it were a stroke, but that was a massive one, drop dead. And that tells me something, we should watch our health. We should watch the fundamentals. They call that one, there's one they call the silent killer. Some will have indications, some will have no indication
at all.
And it will be assumed that they are in good health. Even those who exercise, those who look fit, are considered fit, drop dead. So, but the important thing is elegant stallion, Onyeka Onwenu. The Umbe is a born elegant stallion. Did a bit.
So what as we wrap up this special tribute for Onyeka Onwenu, what should the younger generations emulate? Take from her?
Stay in the course. Identify what you want to do. And believe you me, what you want to do, you have to be passionate about it. Look, I was telling somebody yesterday morning on my way to work. I said, look, I will still be doing this even if I am not paid. That is passion. If it is passion driven, it cannot fail. She came onto the scene in 1984, and this is 40 years. If you can do something, in the same area, she studied government and politics actually, and she did broadcasting. she did entertainment,
She was
and
an
she did
actress.
serious stuff too, an activist. So everything was, in the area of service, adding value. And if you check the lyrics of our music,
I mean, look at this particular song, Peace
uh-huh,
Song. I mean,
yeah.
that is a very adequate song as we are preparing for the nationwide protest,
So
which is to commence
value
tomorrow.
addition was central. So stay the course. Find something you are passionate about, something you probably can do without even paid, and you will still be happy doing it.
Okay, from Solutions 93.9 FM, we say God rest her soul. That is Onyeka when we can't see her anymore, but the works she did and she left behind will forever speak on our behalf.
You can be sure that the airwaves in this country will be
definitely,
filled with
definitely,
our songs.
definitely. It's from the dailies. I'll be right back after this timeout.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
All right, studio time check 939 on 939 Solutions FM. My name is AYODEJI LAFENWA once again, and we are set to take you through the pages, or the front stories, or the front pages rather, of the major newspapers this morning. And this morning I've got the Vanguard, I've got the Punch, I've got the Guardian, and of course the Nation newspaper, and not forgetting the Nigerian Tribune as well. Starting off with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. FG suspends duty on rice, flour, other essential food items. Learn from Kenya's bitter experience, Bishop warns. That story is found on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. FG hands over 400 CNG kits to transporters in 4 states. And moving to the biggest story on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning, protest. Organizers list convergence points for rallies, and quite a number of riders under that caption, which I would like to skip for now. Away from that, TEDFund laments Versity's monthly 400 million electricity bill. And that story is found on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Looking at the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this Wednesday morning, planned hardship protest. FG declares prisons red zones. And riders under that, we have this one saying, IGP advises against street processions. Holds virtual meeting with Falana, Adegboruwa, others. Court to restrict protesters to Freedom Park, Peace Park in Lagos. Soldiers, police, DSS, others in show of force in Ibadan. I would like us to talk about that in the course of the program this morning. Handle protest with caution to avoid repetition of EndSARS. Anglican primate tells security forces. Niger Delta stakeholders distance region from plan. Okay. Protests have diminished our country. Kenyan bishop. Away from protest story, Arik Air Kexas Kiyamo orders grounding of fleet. 2 policemen killed as kidnappers invade church, abduct former commissioner in Delta. Page 28, that is on security issue. Is it there? Court dismisses autumn suit against Benue government. And the last one I'll be taking from the front page of the Niger. Okay, let me take 2 or 3 more. FG suspends import duties, taxes on essential food items. 80,000 applications received for 110 billion naira youth investment fund in 72 hours. FG. That story is found on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. Nation's crude oil daily production of 1.6 million barrels to 82 million by December. NNPCL. Another promise you will say there. Away from the Nigerian Tribune, let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper. Real estate, slow justice system compounds investment uptake. 100 billion naira loss yearly. Empty ATMs as threat to CBN's cashless policy. Let me take that again. Empty ATMs as threat to CBN's cashless policy. Tension.
You know,
okay,
everybody, this, you see, this country, we play ambush. Everybody is ambushing and gaming the system. You understand? They say politicians are stealing in billions, right? Everybody, look, the allegation now is that bankers are giving money to POS operators rather than
stocking the
everybody
ATMs.
is gaming the system, ambushing Nigeria in your own location.
You know, it's looking like a game of chess now.
It is
Like a game of chess.
Everybody is ambushing.
Looking for a way to outsmart
in your own location.
In your own location.
Yeah.
Okay.
What can I do from my own location? And the bureaucrats on their own desk are demanding 400, 200 naira, 500 naira, as the case may be, before they push your paper. Everybody, including the finances, everybody ambushing and gaming the system.
Okay, away from that, tension as joint security forces parade Ibadan. Tension as joint security forces parade Ibadan. That is what is written.
Ibadan is not a hot spot. It's not a black spot.
You know, it's also captured on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune that show of force between the security forces.
I saw the
we will talk about that because I was somewhere yesterday and I saw quite a number of different security agents and law enforcement agents. I saw the police, I saw the DSS patrolling, and we'll talk about that when we get to the point.
How many water cannons have you seen?
Pardon?
How many water cannons trucks have you seen?
None yet.
Well,
But I saw quite a number of armored vehicles then.
those are personnel carriers.
Okay. Oh. FD warns protesters, declares custodial centers red zones. Empowerment. Yobe gives 1,780 women 5,300 goats. Let me take that again. Let me rewind. Empowerment. Yobe gives 1,780 women 5,300 goats to boost employment.
Yeah, really. You know, if they are giving, I'm looking at it from a pragmatic, and I mean pragmatic. I don't want to laugh.
Giving them goats.
Yeah, I don't want to laugh it up. I mean, you give them female goats, they're going to
okay.
be. That's livestock.
Okay,
that's
that's another angle to it. That's a twist to that story.
I mean, you see, you give people money. You give somebody 100,000. They will spend.
They will spend it actually.
I guess, I suspect, I want to give you the benefit of that this is a bottom to top approach. What do you want? If you give me livestock, you understand?
Okay, I can actually breed that stock.
I can actually breed female goats, 2 female goats,
That's a good
and
one.
1 male. You understand? Even not necessarily, I can take the female to go and get laid where there are males, and then they'll give you. At their level. You understand?
Okay, because of our time, let me take one more newspaper now. The biggest story on the front page of the Nation newspaper says, court restricts protesters to freedom peace parks in Lagos.
I like that. The Lagos State government went to court.
Okay, and riders
got an ex parte order restricting them.
We'll talk about this too. Riders under that. Judge orders police to protect protesters. The second one said, Bishop, don't follow Kenyan route. Okay, talking about a Kenyan bishop there, saying that don't be like us. We are still crying in pain and agony of the aftermath of the protest that occurred in Kenya
Yeah.
a few weeks ago. Away from that, crude sale in Naira will lower inflation, forex pressure, says expert. Brace for more floods, NEMA warns Nigerians. And there's a statement or a quote from an Interior Minister to Jojo. When you want to reboot hope that has been down, you need a bit of time, and we are on the right step. All the avenues of engagement and dialogue should be explored before a nationwide protest. That's a statement credited to the Interior Minister, Tunji Ojo. Two more stories. Customs suspends import duties on essential food items. And the last one, EFCC grills NACON boss over 90 billion naira Hajj fund. Now let's go straight to the stories now. It's on the news that FG suspends duty on rice, flour, other essential food items. Now, are this some people will say that these steps being taken by the government, at least to curb the protest, to stop the protest, should have come a long time ago. Why? I mean, to be sincere, the government has been responsive, kind of, as in doing this. I mean, yesterday we read that there's FG rice 40,000 naira per 50 kg, and now they are saying that the 70,000 naira minimum wage was signed into law, and now we are saying that FG suspend duty on rice, flour, and other essential food items. These are good steps, but are these not coming rather later than necessary?
You will recall that we have said on a number of occasions here that the day the president took the oath of office, and he said he was suddenly seized by patriotic zeal, to remove subsidy and merge the foreign exchange windows. When he was being seized by that patriotic zeal, did he weigh the consequences, and did he have a response to the consequences? Like we have said here too, the third leg of the presidential action that day of inauguration should have been, cushioning of the effects. There was no provision for the cushioning. The cushioning of the effects should have been the third leg, you understand, of that action. Liberalization of imports, you understand, on especially food items. And I think Dangote was already in place, you understand? If Dangote was in place, why didn't you, encourage Dangote to start producing immediately, especially PMS? Dangote has the capacity to supply all our PMS needs, you understand? So why didn't we? You see, I think the challenge we have here is that we are not thinking patriotically. We are still thinking I, me, and myself. Dangote was already in place doing AGO. Dangote should have been, Dangote will have started the production of PMS way earlier than this. It was because of the non-availability of crude oil that the production of PMS, and if PMS was available through the IOCs and NNPC, probably the price of PMS would have been crashed. When the bank came with his AGO, it was crashed to a reasonable level by 600 naira. If the official price of PMS is it 650, 580 at NNPC station 650, if Dangote had been able to have crude oil at the naira level the president is just talking about now, probably the price of PMS would have been crashed to 350, 400. Even if it came to 400, that is more than marginal. That is a thought. If you have 30%, reduction, then in PMS, 30% reduction in AGO, 600 margin came down from AGO. That would have impacted the market. But rather than do that, the honest fact was that there are allegations and insinuations all over the place that Dangote did not get the necessary support for certain reasons that are not exactly patriotic. You understand?
Yes.
So, the question is, are our leaders patriotic? In whose interests are their thoughts and their actions? These are the big questions. These are questions. The third leg, you said the president claimed it was seized by patriotic zeal to remove subsidy, to remove, to close the forex window, the official and the parallel market. What about the another patriotic zeal, to cushion the effect? And it was like government was not just, they were not just in a position to respond. And things just went into a tailspin. You can imagine the Naira moving from how much? From 400 and something.
To about 1,500.
It got to 1,900 until they said, and you know the direct, immediate impact of that on the market. So there was no response. All this response we are getting is coming about a year plus after. It is not good enough. And one economic team was put in place. And who are the people in this economic team? Are they economists? But you put businessmen in an economic team. That is a policy team. That is a team that will, decide on policies. And then you start putting Dangote. You start putting Elumelu. These are businessmen. In whose interest would their decisions be? You understand? And this is a man that has said repeatedly that we should not pity him. He asked for the job, and he's been at it in his heart, pursuing it for 30 years. That's why people have been saying, are you serious that you have been in pursuit of all of you must have had even an economic team of your own as an intending aspirant, not even as a candidate. Look, we cannot but make reference to people like Obafemi Awolowo. When they were in opposition, they had shadow cabinet members. Minister of Education, shadow cabinet. Minister of Finance, shadow cabinet. You must have, yes, we know that when you are at a distance.
What do you mean by shadow cabinet?
Opposition.
Okay.
When you are in opposition, and if you intend to govern, you must have people who are in charge, not just all this generalization. Somebody is in charge of education. Okay, what are your thoughts on education? What should we do when we get into office on education? You understand? What is being done now? What improvements? What options? Viable options. Not just criticizing. For it is Nigerians are in pain, but I do not. Protest, yes, but the risk of considering what happened during the NSAS and insinuations here and there. A number of groups, many groups. But you see, all that matters is let people get on the street and then let one person just throw a pebble. You will see how a mob or a crowd is controlled. Let one person pick up and throw a pebble. The others, without necessarily thinking, will just start picking up pebbles and start throwing it.
Okay, now talking about Nigerians being in pain now, and looking at it critically, the steps being taken by the federal government to at least to cushion
a little too late.
Are these steps?
Too late. To start
do we say these steps are they enough to at least to shelve the protest?
I don't think so. It's not going to shelve the protest. It's not going to shelve the protest. How is it not going to shelve the protest? Those who are. Is it those people that are being given rights on the street that decided that we're going to demonstrate? No, those are not the people. There are. Is it rights that would dissuade Falana? Is it rights that would dissuade Muadi Gurua? Is it rights that would dissuade those who are providing funding from where they are in the comfort of their home, thousands of miles away? And the recipients of those funds, is it bags of rice that is being thrown at people? Did you see the video clip of bags of rice being thrown, 10 kilograms of rice, and then the order that crude oil should be supplied to Dangote? Since that order was given, how much tonnage of crude oil has been supplied to Dangote? You understand? So that's not going to do it. But I do not. The risk of these things spinning out of control is for real. And the harvesters of ruins, the ones Yorubas call Arijedimodaru, they are on the wings. They are on the wings.
Okay, let's talk about the protest now. Let's go to Lagos State. Court restricts protesters to Freedom Peace Parks in Lagos, and some people will say that that's an infringement of human rights.
No, the courts the Attorney General went to court and requested for a restraining order, and he stated the grounds. He stated the individuals and the groups. He said they want to protest, no problem. But considering certain facts and possibilities, please restrain them to locations where they can be protected. It is important for them to be protected. The police and other security agencies will provide protection for them so that there will be no infiltration. When there is no, when there is demonstration, as that demonstration moves, the procession moves, people will join.
But with this restriction now, that means there won't be procession.
There won't be
They'll be
procession.
restricted to a place.
You in individuals of ones and twos, you go to the place. That was what was done in 2012 about the Jonathan Fuel thing. They congregated in one place. That was the reason why it did not spiral out of control.
Okay.
Those guys that are organizing there, they knew possibilities. So they gathered people in one location rather than going in the procession. I would never forget the Ali Must Go procession in Lagos on Ikorodu Road by students against Obasanjo's government increase in school tuition. Was it tuition? Did they introduce tuition? They did not introduce tuition. It was just about some fees and specifically food.
Yeah. It was more food.
It was more food. Food went to 50 naira. Is it 50 naira? You know, 50 naira, 50 kobo per meal. We ate 90 naira per, I think it was 45 naira per semester. Your whole meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner was 45 naira per semester, 90 naira per session. So, Shegun Okewo was the president of that. On Ikorodu Road, I will never forget the procession, the demonstration by students, university students, and was joined by unscrupulous elements. And you know what happened? They bombed. The customs had a building on Ikorodu Road. They planted dynamite there, certainly not this, and bombed it. And that was when things spiraled out of control. So,
okay, now still talking about the protest. Let's leave Lagos now. You've answered that. But this show of force in Ibadan, soldiers, police, DSS, others in show of force in Ibadan, is this not tantamount to, or like more like intimidation?
It is not intimidation.
In the minds of the people who might want to go out to protest.
It is just, security agencies, their duty is the protection of lives and property. Nigerians are aggrieved.
But when you say very large deployment of who will want to come out?
Well, those who will come out will come out. It's not as if that large deployment will start shooting at them. No, they will not. They're not going to be shooting at them. It is just, this show of force. It is not particularly nice. A friend of mine that lives in the UK, we were having a conversation yesterday. You see, this show of force, even the police service in Nigeria calls itself police force. You see, you don't police by
armed forces.
You don't police with force. No, I'm not sure there's any other police service in the entire world that has force behind its name. You see, policing is a civil thing. It is not by force. You don't police people by force. But I don't know. But the police evolved from the colonial era. The police was an instrument being used by the colonial masters to put the people they colonized in check and in line. So we moved from that colonial mentality. We did not reorientate and reorganize our police. It is still a force. So force. You don't see people demonstrating on the streets of London and you see police carrying guns. Nobody does that. It's uncivil. That's not the role of the police. But you see, that is the way we are. So people are going to take, and you see all these possibilities of discharge, the one they call accidental discharge, and all of that. We should avoid it. But I think the IGP, they have been very civil. They have been engaging, speaking with Falana, speaking with Adegborua. These are influential guys. And you see Falana and Adegborua, these are guys that will not want to lead people to death. to their death. You understand?
And I mean, in response to this show of force by security forces, the Anglican primate is telling, okay, let me read it. Handle protests with caution to avoid the repetition of NSAS. Anglican primate tells security forces.
Yes, I'm particularly worried about hotspots. Lagos is a mega city.
In Nigeria, where are the hotspots now?
Lagos, Abuja.
There you go, Abuja. Well, Wiki seems to be.
Forget about.
Wiki seems to
We
be in control.
We have a police force.
to be in control in Abuja.
It's not.
No, you have said that there's no protest in Abuja.
There will be protest in Abuja. I can assure you that there will be protest in Abuja because of the location of Abuja itself. You see, politicians are going to cash in on this. Politicians who are not thinking of the interest of Nigerians, who are thinking of their own interest. You know, we have said it a couple of times here. Statesmen think of the future. Politicians think of the next election. And some of the decisions of politicians, whether in or out of office, are fueled, and the considerations, thinking is influenced by the next election, not by the future. So people should be very, very, very. Let me tell you one thing, though. It's not as if the security agencies don't see them all. That is one terrible thing about the security agencies.
Don't see who?
They see everybody. They see what they are doing. They know who is doing what. I can assure you. They know who is fueling and funding these things. They know. But you see, they have their way of going about things.
Peter Obi already said that it's hunger and hopelessness that is the sponsor.
Yeah, there's hunger. There's hunger in the land. Hopelessness. I don't like that word hopelessness. Anyone that is without hope is as good as dead. It is hope that keeps driving people and fueling people. You understand? You have a vision and you have the hope is in belief, knowing that if I work at it. So when you start saying hopelessness,
I think things will get better.
Yeah, hopeless individual is as good as dead. So, yeah.
I know, still talking about it because so much stories on the protest because we have few hours to the commencement of the protest, which is to start tomorrow. FD declares prisons red zones.
Do they have the personnel? Is the prisons personnel? Well, it's a critical. Now we can consider it to be a critical national infrastructure, and the NSCDC, the one we call civil defense, is responsible for securing critical national infrastructure. I expect that they will be deployed in that regard. We have had breaches and breaching of. Look at the one they did. They did it in Kuje, and they did it in Oyo too, Abi.
Where there was prison break
in Oyo. I mean, with so much ease. The one they did in Abuja and Kuje, they said they were there for hours. I mean, that's quite unchallenged. So all this mouthing of security, don't mouth security. Let there be deployment. I expect that NSCDC will join in the protection of correctional facilities. And when you hear that our correctional facilities do not have CCTV, that's quite ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Even our police stations.
I would like to use the word embarrassing.
Embarrassing. Even our police stations, they don't have CCTV. I mean, how does the police station operate without CCTV? A security location. You understand? I think those who man those organizations are shameless. And I use that word with every sense of responsibility. They are shameless. Divisional Police Headquarters, no CCTV. I mean, that's a shameless, that's quite shameless.
Okay, as we wrap up the protest story, let's look at this statement from the Kenyan bishop, learned from Kenya's bitter experience. So from his statement now, what should be the advice for people who are thinking of going to protest tomorrow? What should be their duties and what should be the roles of the security forces that will be in place?
The role of the security forces is to protect protesters, primarily. And of course, protecting protesters include ensuring that order is maintained, that law and order is not breached. And of course, there will be provocations.
I was going to mention provocation, because sometimes
There
they
will
might
be
want to maintain their cool, but the protesters will kind of provoke them.
There will be provocations. If the police is civil, will the military be civil? If the NSCDC is civil, will the Army, the Air Force be civil?
We have the DSS too.
The DSS they could be civil. They could be civil. They don't. You hardly find DSS using their firearms anyhow. You hardly ever find them. They are a disciplined organization when it comes to using their firearms. The military, are they a civil organization? Will they be given the necessary briefing? Those will be deployed. Will they be briefed? You understand? That this is a civil matter. That they are simply being deployed because of inadequacies of numbers of our police. That is the only reason why you see military being deployed to contain civil protest and to put things, to ensure that law and order does not break down. So the police should be the front line security organization in charge of maintaining law and order. But it doesn't happen. You see, the military, we saw them during the NSAS. We saw them, dismissing policemen, clearing them off, when policemen are trying to be civil with the protesters.
Even we've had in the past, recent past, during elections, even the military guys are put on the street.
Oh, yeah. The very first time I saw that was 2003 election. The one that, Obasanjo won re-election. When I came out that Saturday morning, and I saw Nigeria's military men in full battle gear. I mean battle gear.
On an election day.
I was depressed. And I was worried for Nigeria. Not Lagos, not hot spots, not black spots. In regular towns, because I was, moving around. I was depressed. That why should the military be deployed in full battle gear, camouflage, and everything? That was supposed to be. And of course, people got the message. People got the message, and people just went gently. Those who came out at all.
Well, when you talk about people getting the message, some got the message in a way that probably it's more of an intimidation.
Of course, it was intimidation. That was the intention. That was the intent. But you see, demonstrators cannot. Look, I have taken part in demonstration as a student several times. The police and all of that. And of course, they ended up shooting at us. You understand? Several occasions, they ended up shooting at us. Of course, I got lucky. I never got shot at. But people died. There was a particular demonstration we went for. A classmate of mine, I will never forget, a classmate of mine was beheaded. We were in the same class. I think we were
not forgetting the heroic Kunle Adepeju of the University of Ibadan.
Oh, that was 78.
In the 70s.
Yeah, no, it was not even 70. That was 71.
And 71. And sadly, he wasn't part of the protesters. According to the story,
it was within
he was on his way to Kennedy Library in UI.
Yeah.
And he was.
And the police breached. That is one thing that doesn't happen, except the university authorities. Since that time, the police does not enter university premises. We have had unfortunate incidents in which the vice chancellor or university authorities invite them. But when they are chasing us, the moment in Ife, the moment we turn off the major highway, that is where university property starts. They do not follow us. And since 1981, when the police post that was by the University of Ife gate was burnt, it had never been rebuilt. It was burnt in 1981. It was not rebuilt. So they were off our ground. The moment we turn off the major highway like this, they stop pursuing us. So, civility, understanding that, okay, this is your grant, you have entered your. We hadn't even got into our gate, but that place was regarded as part of University of Ife. So I do hope, because, you see, what I'm worried is this. We're talking about infrastructural deficit. And people are going to go on rampage, destroying You think it's government? It's not. This thing we call government property.
Banks have put their staff on red alert.
Yeah, we call this thing government property. They are not government property. They are public property. And if it is called public property, it belongs to you and I. I saw yesterday governor telling people a few days back.
I think we need to sensitize our people on that.
Yes. In 1983, when they started their
Who might be planning to go out destroying things tomorrow.
It is public property. It is not government property. What is the meaning of government? Who does government serve? Is it not you and I? When they say they are appropriating and budgeting, where are they getting the money from? You pay tax, I pay tax. People pay tax. People you see on those streets, they pay tax. They collect money from the other one guys or the other. Go and ask the tricycle, they pay tax. All those money, union money they collect, it is taxation. So when you say government property, there is nothing like government property. It is public property. And there are hoodlums, harvesters of ruins, on the wings. They will have marked the locations they want to loot. And you saw what happened in Kenya. Looting.
Yeah.
And we are talking about an economy on the brink. Most of those shops you see stocked up, people have borrowed money. They are rolling over, making marginal profit. Go and the manufacturers too, giving it to them. You understand? He will sell. She will bring money. Give them another stock. You know, everybody is in a cycle of, just trying to stay afloat. And then you start looting. And you know how that will affect everybody. And then people will now start blaming government. That's what. People are looting. We do not have enough policemen. If we had 1 million policemen, out of the 500,000 that we have, half of them are carrying bags and guarding our VIPs. Are they supposed to be guarding them? A senator will have 2 policemen following him around. That's a regular senator. If you're a principal officer, you probably have 6 or 8 or 10. In your house in Lagos, you will have. In your house in Ibadan, you will have. In your house in Abuja,
even when you are not in the house.
No, you don't have to be there.
But they have to be there.
You will have to be there. That's the way it goes.
Okay. Concerning tomorrow's protest, which is starting tomorrow, Nigerians should be civil.
I hope Nigerians are going to be civil.
But we need to tell them to be civil.
We need to tell them that it is in their own interest to be civil. You destroy public property, you do bonfire. They are fixing this road now. And then you come in the morning and you put tires, you are doing bonfire. It's stupidity. It is sheer stupidity. You put a fire on the highway. You go to Lagos about the expressway that they have been constructing for 24 years. You go and put bonfire. Will the president ride on the road? Will the governor ride on the road?
Okay, comrade.
We should not shortchange ourselves.
Because of our time, it's 10:15. It's from the Dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM. We're talking about some stories and some of today's national dailies. And away from the protest now, let's talk about the ever-lingering queues at the filling stations.
I saw those queues this morning when I did the walkout.
I saw one yesterday. I don't even know the English word to use now.
I think I have observed, because I come from another end of Ibadan. I have observed, and I think I've said it here once, that there are particular areas in Ibadan where the queues are always so long.
But I apart from the NNPC filling stations, I've not seen any other filling station. Okay, I saw one around Orita Challenge this morning. It was about to start dispensing.
I saw one on this road this morning. There were not 10 cars there. Probably they were selling.
But there is scarcity, no doubt about that. Or do we say this dealers are holding this fuel, hoping that probably there will be hike in the price of
Let me assure you that there is not going to be any hike. That one is almost certain.
Then why are all the filling stations?
The NNPCL said there was a glitch in discharge of cargo. There was a glitch in discharge of cargo. And I asked, glitch in discharge of cargo? So if there is a glitch, why don't we dip into our reserves? If there's no reserves that we can dip into for at least 2-3 weeks, it doesn't mean we do not have the reserve, or we do not have sufficient reserve to last us 30 days, and we are not at war. Imagine a situation in which we are at war and troops will be mobilized, and troops will be mobilized by road. You can. I mean, when you see a motorcade, a convoy, and of course they will have to, apart from the ones they are moving with, they will have to have storage. Their storages filled up with millions and millions and millions. We are not at war, and yet they are using language glitch in discharge. What a glitch?
Whose fault is that?
Of course, ask them how many discharge terminals do we have in Nigeria? It should be the discharge on the seas.
We should ask who?
We should ask an NPC here.
But you said on the program that we shouldn't ask them questions. They don't need to be asked.
I didn't say we should. I didn't say we should not ask them questions. But embarking on a probe is.
These are part of that. I mean, when you put them on probation, I mean, it's asking questions. Why is this not functioning? Why is this going this way?
Nigerians don't have a sense of stakeholding in Nigeria, so we don't ask questions. We just say, and we find a means of.
And sadly, no one is coming out to even tell Nigerians what is the situation of things. I mean, we have the petroleum minister in the person of the president as well.
We don't need the petroleum minister.
I mean, somebody should at least address Nigerians because Nigerians on the street don't even know what is happening.
They said there was a glitch in discharge of products. That is why there was a backlog, which means that there were no products to be lifted by those tankers. No products to be lifted. No products to be lifted. Because there was a glitch in discharge. Now, when you say there's a glitch in discharge, does it mean there were no products to be discharged? Because where they do Atlas Cove, I do not know any other place. Maybe there are other, because I see them discharging at Atlas Cove. Okay, when you discharge at Atlas Cove, of course they have to go and use smaller vessels to go and discharge from the big vessels on the high seas, and then those. So was it that there were not smaller vessels to go and collect from those bigger vessels that cannot come to Atlas Cove, or what are we talking about here? So, I mean, glitch. That's the question we should be asking. Okay, glitch in the chain. Where did the glitch occur? There's always a chain. So, at the discharge, at the high seas, no cargo
and no reserves.
And no reserves. Yes, God bless you.
That's the that's the
only explanation.
That one is worse. No reserves at all.
Well, if there is a glitch, Shebi, in the processes, we can dip into our reserves. It doesn't look
the farm tanks, Aaron.
Because they said there were no products to be lifted. NNPC is renting tank farms. In spite of they have depots located all over Nigeria with pipelines that are supposed to supply them. And they're still calling this. They are calling that one a company, a limited liability company.
So, with the look of things now, is there any hope in sight
to
the end of this fuel scarcity?
It will take
in the next 2-3 or maybe 4. Okay, today is Wednesday. By Friday,
it will take a while before they settle out the glitch. When they start lifting, they lift products from Lagos and drive to Abuja and drive to Kano and drive to Sokoto. What is the meaning of that? When there's a refinery in Kaduna, they go and lift manually. The railways are not working. You understand? Tankers, 33,000 tankers, they will damage that road again from Lagos to Ibadan very soon. When they start, is that road supposed to carry 33,000
liters?
Yeah, no way bridges.
And not just one tanker. Imagine the number of tankers.
Yes, now everybody going to. If you drive from Lagos to Kano, it is the right side of the road from Lagos to Kano that it is badly damaged, because that's where you have the weight. They don't bring
the field. They come back empty.
They come back empty or with lighter load. So the railway should be working. In Ibadan here, in Bodija there used to be a mobile depot where one big church here is now in Bodija Ojuri. It used to be a mobile depot, and just adjoining it was a huge transport company with haulage, that lifted, from that discharge location, brought from Lagos by train, not by tankers.
All right, comrade, we have two more stories. Still talking about the NNPC now. Nation's crude oil daily production of 1.6 million barrels to hit 2 million by December, NNPCL.
Well, is it verifiable? This is the question. Is it verifiable? Can we see Aramco? Aramco has a dashboard where you can monitor what they're doing. Why are we running this in as a secret society?
That's what I'm saying. There are so many things embedded in secrecy in the runnings of the NNPC.
You say, why are we running? You say NNPC is owned by Federal Ministry of Finance, 50%, and the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 50%, which in essence means that you and I, we are all, as a Nigerian citizen, I'm a stakeholder. When I saw this story overnight, I said, how do we verify? How do we verify? It's not verifiable. And they're running it as a secret society.
Okay, as we wrap up, 2 policemen killed as kidnappers invade church, abduct former commissioner in Delta State. Now, this is becoming one abduction too many in recent times. I mean, it seems probably because of the hardship, we don't seem to pay attention.
In a church?
In the church.
They abducted the woman.
I mean, I remember this week alone, I've read more than 6 different stories.
The woman is a politician. She was in the House of Reps. Then she was a commissioner until recently. And she stepped down from her cabinet rank for our brother, to take the chairmanship position. And then, of course, there are variations to the story. She was abducted, allegedly, 2 policemen killed, I think driver
invaded
killed.
In the
church, and then abducted with her 2 kids. But the police said it was only her that was abducted, driven away in her car, only 1 person killed and all of that. Whatever it is, whatever the variations are, fact is, police personnel in the church were attacked, killed. You understand? It is not nice at all. It is making people feel unsafe. A friend of mine has been around from England about 10 days now. And he kept telling me, he said, people are afraid, you understand? Except for people like some of them that will always come to Nigeria. They are scared that anything can happen.
Now, with the spate of this insecurity, kidnapping here and there, will this even interest foreign investors? We have the president. Our president has been going around the world, globetrotting to at least to woo investors to Nigeria, but without addressing this cases of kidnappings.
When you go around, look, the person that wants to invest has the indices for investment that they look out for. Is this available? Is this available? Is this available? If they need 10 to be available, they say, okay, these are critical 6 that we must have on ground. If you don't have it, then these are not emotional decisions. They are taken based on verifiable cold facts. Not that I'm a Nigerian, I must go and invest in Nigeria. That's an emotional decision. You understand? You can take you and I can take those decisions based on emotion. It's the land of my phobias. I want to invest there. I mean, whatever happens to your investment there. So, an investor will take cold-blooded decisions, and if it's on the basis of insecurity and all of this, of course, if location too determines. But you see, if you take an investment to a certain location and it looks attractive to kidnappers, they will come there.
As we wrap up, what should the government do
about
to tackle these cases of insecurity?
Well,
at least to make the environment inviting.
Step it up. Step their game up. Electronic surveillance. Police stations do not have CCTV. That's highly ridiculous and embarrassing. Government office do not have CCTV. Of course, there are in some offices, but of course we know why they will not put CCTV. And our policemen are not using body cam. Why are they not using body cam? I have a camera on my... So I don't want to get into arguments with anybody, even if there is a traffic breach. You understand? You have breach traffic. I don't want arguments with anybody. Somebody dashed me that thing. I will just... let's pay back. Why are policemen not wearing body cam? Of course, how are they going to wear body cam when they are collecting toll fees from people, and it should be recorded, and you dare not put it off?
Okay,
step it up. The NSA especially, I believe the man is capable. I believe he is capable. He's a policeman. Policemen are very well trained, very well trained. I believe he is capable, and I believe he has the ears of the president.
And he's been keeping quiet lately.
No, no. What he was doing photo ops and escorting the president's guests. I mean, that was ridiculous. That's not the.
So let's say he's doing his duty now.
He got the feedback and adjusted.
And you have to adjust. Okay. All right. I wanted to say that. All right, Comrade AJISOPE, thank you very much for being a part of the program this morning.
My pleasure always to be on this platform.
And let's hope that as the nation, we are looking at a few hours to the protest.
Bated breath.
I mean, talking about the protest.
Yeah, with bated breath.
So let's hope that things will go peacefully. And like we have said, people should go out there and be peaceful and be civil. No destruction of property. And like the president has even said, you have the right to peaceful protest. And the security agencies too should be civil and be able to tackle any provocation. Abi?
Yeah, people are angry. They will challenge the security men, and let's hope for the best.
Let's hope for the best. All right, that's the wrap for today. We'll be back tomorrow for a fresh edition from the dailies on your Sipuda Solutions 93.9 FM. My name is Adetamola LAFENWA, and I'm leaving you in the hands of the music of late Elegant Stallion again as we celebrate our life and times. This is One Love Keeps Us Together. A classic.
A classic.
Everybody has a day when the sun stays away. Take heart in a new tomorrow. A little more love between makes for a brighter day. Never need worry, let one love set you free. One love keep us together. Living in a world, it's a struggle just staying alive. One love keep us together. Living in a world, it's a struggle just staying alive. Somebody tell me, oh, why we're fighting. One love can set us free if we just let it be. Take off in a brand new day. Good love is all we need to chase the clouds away. Never need worry if you just let it be. One love, keep us together. Living in a world, it's a struggle just staying alive. One love, keep us together. Living in a world, it's a struggle just staying alive.